President-elect Joe Biden has ruled out the possibility of a national lockdown to address the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Biden has said that he will not shut down the economy and that a national lockdown would actually be counterproductive.
The answer was I would follow the science. I am not going to shut down the economy, period. I'm going to shut down the virus. That's what I'm going to shut down.
So that's
I'll say
out.
It again. No national shutdown. No national shutdown. Because every region, every area, every community can be different. And so there's no circumstance which I can see would require a total national shutdown. I think that would be counterproductive.
Now, Biden has faced questions about whether he would pursue such a nationwide shutdown to try to rein in the virus, while the president-elect ruled out the possibility of a national lockdown. He has stressed again on the need for people to wear masks and also adhere to social distancing.
We talked a lot about with the governors about what the immediate needs are. We're going to employ the Defense Reconstructive Act to be able to go out there and dictate companies build and do following things. We need much more testing. We need much more masking. We need gloves. I asked them each to go, and I asked the National Governors Association through the Governor Cuomo and the ones on the line to let us know what their shortages are, what they anticipate. Because we're going to move on day one. That should be moved on now. But if it waits, it takes a long time to get this thing going.
Now, Joe Biden has also accused Donald Trump of costing American lives by refusing to concede the polls.
Heard the projections. The projections are that if nothing fundamentally changes between now and beginning of February, we're likely to lose up to total of 400,000 lives, another 150,000 lives. And so it's real. Whether it's that, it gets to 360, whatever it is, it's real. And there is no excuse not to share the data and let us begin to plan. Because on day one, it's going to take us time. If we don't have access to all this data, it's going to put us behind the 8 ball by a matter of a month or more.
All right, so that was U.S. President-elect Joe Biden there insisting that there will be no full-on national lockdown. Jagriti, if I can bring you in on this. Now, this, of course, was a question that Donald Trump had been reiterating over and over again, and something that perhaps a lot of Trump supporters had been talking about, that if Joe Biden were to get elected, that he would be more strict in terms of going about with the lockdowns. But here, he's now insisting that there will be no national lockdown. Every area, every district has different requirements, and his strategy would be tailor-made for those areas that would require a certain kind of a strategy.
Yes, this is something we've heard from Joe Biden even throughout the campaign. If you remember, President Trump was trying to set himself apart from Joe Biden, saying that, Joe Biden would shut down the economy. He would, ruin America if he became president. And even during the campaign, Joe Biden's line was, I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm going to shut down the coronavirus. And he repeated that again at this address. Clearly, this is something that he is conscious of. It's a political issue, even while he is saying that mask wearing is not a political issue, it's a public health issue. Nonetheless, the pandemic many aspects of the pandemic has become a political issue, and the idea of shutdowns is in many ways political because it's had such a huge impact on America's economy. Most countries around the world have experienced economic struggles because of economic shutdowns, and so as Joe Biden attempting to present himself as a president for all Americans, but also as a responsible president, he is once again reiterating that point that he is not going to shut down the country, that he is going to instead have a responsible plan that as he sees it, as opposed to how he puts it, the irresponsibility of the Trump administration. He is going to have a plan that makes sure that the country can function safely, but without having to go through a nationwide shutdown. He's still working on this nationwide plan. Clearly, he is saying that part of the problem with his administration, his transition team going forward, is that he doesn't have access to the government data and government resources because President Trump is refusing to concede the election and start that transition process, which requires the sort of certification process from the General Services Administration, a federal department that begins that transition process. So this is what Joe Biden is saying, but he is trying to reassure Americans that he is not going to shut down the economy. Instead, he is going to put forward a plan. He's talking already to to officials, former Trump administration officials, and some current ones through back channels, according to reports, on issues such as national security. But health experts such as Dr. Anthony Fauci are also saying that it would be better for the country if government health officials were able to communicate with the Biden transition team, just to ensure that things like vaccine development, because we've got several vaccine candidates that are looking like they're going to get permission or that are going to through the permission process through the FDA to get emergency use authorization. They are going through the process, and the Biden transition team is saying that they need to be able to talk to government health officials to make sure they can deploy those vaccines across the country.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Jagriti Dave, for joining us and getting us all those updates there.